Okay, guys, let's do it. I'm ready, man. I'm ready to talk some Star Wars. I mean, we're in June. It comes out in December. I mean, I'm ready to talk some Star Wars: The Last Jedi. But not only, but my main point I want to talk about is Rey. Is Rey still Luke's daughter? So why don't we just kick back, chill with me for a little bit. If you have any questions, please write down below in the comment section any questions you guys want to ask me about The Last Jedi, or what do I think about Rey, maybe the other characters. But the main bulk is, do I still believe that Rey might be Luke's daughter? And I'll get to that in a minute. So I got myself some Jackson Hole soda, High Mountain Huckleberry. First time I'm trying this. So cheers to everybody who's listening. Oh man, that's good. That's really good. And that tastes like a blue icy. Tastes like a blue icy. That's really good. Tastes like a 7-Eleven blue icy. Okay, so let's get started, guys. I mean, so Rey and Luke, we all can't wait to see the training begin. We can't wait to see what Luke has to say. Last time we saw Rey, is she was handing Luke the lightsaber, Anakin's lightsaber. I want to know, does Luke still have the green lightsaber? I don't think at this point, I don't think he necessarily needs it anymore. I think he's just above the lightsaber at this point, like Yoda was above it. But the big thing is, do I still believe that Rey is Luke's daughter? I'm having a little bit of doubt. I'm still going to say yes. I'm still going to say yes, just because of the hope of a certain character from the expanded universe coming in and being mentioned. But also, I mean, it's hard not to say at this point that Rey isn't Luke's daughter, because of her ability to learn the Force very quickly and her skills in the lightsaber, this and that. But I won't say anything about people saying like, no, they don't believe that Rey at this point is Luke's daughter, because we're at this point where, even with the Last Jedi teaser, because it's a teaser, it's not a real full length really trailer. We didn't really get too much out of it. It kind of seems like he knows her but doesn't know her. He doesn't. And then of course, like, why did he leave her? This and that. But I will say there might be some hope, if you guys do believe. If you guys want to, there is some hope that maybe in fact Rey is Luke's daughter. At the Last Jedi panel at Star Wars Celebration, Mark Hamill kind of let something slip. All right, he let something slip, and I don't. You could take it with a grain of salt. So what happened was, in the Last Jedi panel, I'm going to read you the little article. Hamill pointed at Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy, calling her Wonder Woman, while referring to the Last Jedi director Rian Johnson as God. However, when speaking of Ridley, he started by almost saying "my daughter" before quickly changing it to "my colleague." The potential reveal even made the director put a hand to his head as the crowd laughed along. Hamill then referred to Finn, actor John Boyega, as "my son" to confuse things even further. So Hamill might have let it slip that, Rey is truly his daughter in the film. But, I mean, you take it for a grain of salt. It's Star Wars Celebration. It's a panel. A lot of things happen. But then again, for Rogue One's panel, one of the actors revealed that Donnie Yen does die, and he does die. And I think it's Donnie Yen's character's friend. I think he revealed that they both die in the film, and they end up both dying in the film, or he killed Donnie Yen, something like that. So, like I said, take it for a grain of salt. I mean, it's really hard to say that Rey isn't Luke's daughter. I mean, just look at Rey and look at young Luke. Look at Luke, Binary Sunset. The New Hope. Look at Luke, so young back in the day, and look at Rey, just the facial, the qualities they have. I mean, they're so similar to each other. It's hard not to say that she isn't Luke's daughter. But yeah, there has been some doubt, though. There has been some doubt that maybe she isn't indeed Luke's daughter. Maybe she is a daughter of somebody very powerful, a Jedi that Luke had on the council, or this new Jedi council. Then the Rena Knights came, or she might be still Han and Leia's daughter. At this point, I think a lot of people are just saying no because we just haven't seen, or the clarification, that teaser trailer didn't really clarify what she is to Luke, and it kind of seems like Luke is just not acting like a fatherly figure to her. But it's only a teaser. It's only a teaser, right? So what I really want to get into too is the Last Jedi talk. So if you guys have any questions, just please put it down below in the comment section. I'll answer it right away. So we're talking the Last Jedi talk, and going into this film, where does Finn, where's Poe, like what's going to happen to these characters? I know that Poe wasn't supposed to be as big of a character, but a lot of people loved his character and wanted more of him. So I really do believe Poe is going to take over the Millennium Falcon. All right, we see that one shot where the X-Wing gets exploded. I really feel like Poe, not necessarily the new Han Solo, because in Han Solo, there is only one Han Solo. I feel like Poe is capable of taking over that Millennium Falcon, even though it's a smuggling ship, but such an iconic ship. And there's so many flaws in The Force Awakens that why not? Why not have Poe take over that Millennium Falcon? I mean, what use of it, though, will he have with it? I mean, it's a smuggling ship, but yet it is pretty enhanced, so to speak. So, and at this point, I think Chewbacca is the one that's handling that ship. And I would love to see Poe have a relationship with Chewbacca. That would be actually a pretty fun little conversation those two would have. So at this point, I think Chewbacca is handling the ship, or maybe even Leia. How badass would that be if Leia was actually handling that ship? Of course, Carrie Fisher is gone. I heard that the second movie was going to be focused, because the first movie was heavily focused on Han Solo. Second movie is going to be focused on Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. And then the third film was supposed to focus on Carrie Fisher to really kind of, nice little bow tie to the original trilogy characters. But Carrie Fisher has passed. We don't know. I don't think she filmed anything from the third movie going in. But I think most of her scenes are done with The Last Jedi. But moving forward, how much do they need for that third film with Carrie Fisher, and how big of a part does she play in this film? I mean, she is the mother of Kylo Ren. We don't necessarily know the true extension she has with relationship with Rey. If Rey is in fact Luke's daughter, it brings a lot. It brings some crazy stuff into it. I mean, Leia has Rey was with Han, so you would think that she would have some interaction with Leia in the future, especially since Leia let her go see Luke, other than Leia going to go see Luke herself. So there's so much things going on. Finn looks like he's recovering quite nicely. I heard he has a new blaster coming that he's going to be holding on to. I want to know, is Finn really, is he Force sensitive? Is he going to eventually become a Jedi? And you know what? I wouldn't be shocked if they don't reveal that until the third film and they actually showcase that Finn is in fact Force sensitive. And I really feel like he is. I really feel like that, yes, it's somewhat dumb luck that a lot of things that happen in Force Awakens, but depending on this movie, I really feel like he has potential of actually becoming a Jedi along with Rey. Now, the one reason, if you haven't seen my other videos, the one reason I do want Rey to be Luke's daughter is because I want my favorite expanded character involved. And it very much could happen because over there in Star Wars Rebels, going into the last season, we have the badass villain, Thrawn. Now, he's not as good as the novel, the Expanded Universe's novels, but he's still very fantastic in Rebels. I really still love Thrawn and what they brought to life in him, animated wise. I mean, I would have loved Thrawn to be the villain of this new trilogy. I think you needed somebody like him. I think he's so, and just imagine the makeup. It could have been Academy Award winning makeup if they would have brought Thrawn in the picture, but they didn't. And I don't see how they still can't. He's not depending, unless he's a certain kind of race where he lives a long time and he doesn't fall from Rebels. But I just don't see him making an appearance on the big screen. But who I see at least being mentioned on the big screen is Mara Jade. I really want to see Mara Jade Skywalker. She's my favorite character from the expanded universe. She could bring a lot to the table coming into the mythos and lore of Star Wars, The Last Jedi. There is a story in the expanded universe they could tie in to why they had to send Rey packing and how she died, because if they're going to introduce Mara Jade into this universe and make her canon, she has to be dead. But not only that, you could actually have her pop up in either the novels or another TV show. Like, she's a fan favorite, just like Thrawn, and I don't see why they want to use this character. Why? And I don't want no cheap ass, like, almost her character in the movie, like it's a different name, it's not even the same look. Like, I don't want that shit. All right, I want the exact same character that I've seen in the comics, the novels, and media wise that we got from the expanded universe. I want to see that character on, or at least mentioned on the big screen. So what I'm also looking forward to is Rey and Luke and Rey's training. Depending on, it'd be kind of interesting if Luke didn't even know he had a daughter. That would be actually pretty interesting. I don't know how they would play that, but that would be pretty interesting. But the Jedi training that Rey is going to be conducted in, that's going to be interesting as well. But there is one particular scene that I've been hearing over and over again that has to do with sea monsters. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of the sea monsters in the Star Wars lore. I thought the Phantom Menace, when they go into Jar Jar's little home and they encounter sea monsters, I'm like, it took me out of the film, honestly. I just really feel like sea monsters are not necessarily needed, or really, unless they do a really awesome scene with the sea monster. But I really feel like a sea monster being involved in Rey's Jedi training is kind of like, what the fuck, make it simple. You don't have to make it all CGI, make it epic. I mean, Luke's training was fantastic because of how subtle it was. Him facing himself, him facing Darth Vader, the Force, him going around Dagobah, I don't know if I said that right, Yoda on his back, and just really training like a Marine would train. Just making it very subtle. Don't having to do a bunch of CGI and shit. I don't want that to happen in the Last Jedi. I don't want to see Rey, running away from a bunch of monsters, sea monsters. I don't want a big old CGI background and all that shit. What was great about The Force Awakens was the practical effects and the CGI coping together. If they want to keep going with The Last Jedi, I really feel like they need to do the same thing. And also, they just need to they don't have to go just because it's a sequel to The Force Awakens, just because this is, episode 8, doesn't mean it has to be super grand. You can make it a small film, and that's what makes films masterpiece, because they're not too grand, they're really small. So when it comes to Rey's Jedi training, I want the more mindset of it all, which I think we're going to get, especially with Bendu being introduced in Rebels. He is the center of, he's like a gray Jedi. I believe it's a gray Jedi. He is the center. He is not a Sith, nor is he a Jedi, nor is he in the dark side or the light side. He is in the middle, and I think we're going to get more into that lore going into The Last Jedi, because we've seen a lot of different kind of things in The Last Jedi that suggests that. But with Rey's training, I really want her, I want her to achieve something that no other Jedi or no other Sith has. And I want Rebels has introduced a lot of things, especially Clone Wars as well, like their crystal, the dark saber. Like I want to see some crazy shit. You know, I want to see some of these things presented in The Last Jedi. I want all this stuff to be known, even though it's animated, into the films, because the films are of course the number one, but I feel like the films could use a lot of this stuff as well, this lore that we already have in place. I think The Force Awakens was not that great. You know, I thought it was good for what it was. I definitely thought it was better than the prequels, but when it came to overall as a film, it was kind of a rehash of A New Hope. And as time goes by, I still feel like The Force Awakens, I really liked it, but I didn't love it. And I think The Last Jedi and what Luke's words has says that he thinks the Jedi has to end, so his mind staying where he is, I think I'm going to really love this movie, because that's what it's all about. It's all about where these characters are at this given point, and where Luke is not in a good place. He's tried to rebuild. He tried to do something. He tried to do what everybody has told him to do, and all this, responsibility in his shoulders. And look what happened. Not only did his Jedi Council get destroyed, but it got destroyed, and his nephew got corrupted by Snoke, and he turned into the dark side. And I think that's what's going to be key to The Last Jedi, is where these characters are at, and especially with Luke. Everybody wants to know where Luke is at, but what I want to know is what relationship Luke has with Snoke, if there's any relationship. I want to know more about Snoke. I want to know who this cat is. I want to know if he's the stormtrooper that hit his head. I want to know who Snoke is. A lot of people are saying Dark Plagueis. So there's a lot of theories, there's Rey being Luke's daughter. There's Snoke being Dark Plagueis, but it could be completely off our game, and it could be completely totally different, which I'm fine with, because the more fresher ideas, the better. But I really feel like going into The Last Jedi, we need more Snoke. We need to see who this guy is. We don't need him. I don't want him to be the Emperor. Before the prequels came, the Emperor, all we saw was like little glimpses of him in the second movie, and then he really showed in the third movie, the Return of the Jedi. But Empire Strikes Back, he's just kind of like, he's not really there. So I don't want Snoke to be like that. I want Snoke to be a big player in the second film, The Last Jedi. I want to know what this cat's all about, and I want to see where Kylo Ren is. I think a lot of people can agree that Kylo Ren, he could be redeemed, but not fully. He's still going to die. This is a character that has the black spot on his head, so to speak. He is forever going to be that person. If you kill Han Solo, there's no coming back from that. So Kylo Ren most likely is a goner. The question is, can he be redeemed? And in this film, I don't want that. I don't want no redemption. I want Kylo Ren. He killed Han Solo. Why not go 130% bad? He's done. I want to see that evil Kylo Ren. I want to see him evolve, and you can see he doesn't have a mask anymore, and I believe he's getting another mask. But I want to see this guy really do some damage in The Last Jedi. I want to see him kill some people. I want to see either Poe, and even though as much as I've been talking about Finn earlier on, I want to see maybe Finn die. I want to see some major characters die in this film. I want to see some heavy felt emotions happen. You set up these characters in the first one. Let's see what you do with it in the second film. Rian Johnson wrote the script. He's directing. This guy has done Looper. Didn't necessarily like Looper, but I do think Rian Johnson it's in capable hands. It looks beautiful, but we'll see how it goes. There's a lot of questions, but there's a lot of things I want to see. So moving forward, I think the biggest question is, if Rey is Luke, should Rey be Luke's daughter at this point? Should Luke be the father, and are you okay with him not being the father? I feel like I'm in a Maury show. Luke, you are not the father. If Rey's not Luke's daughter, I am going to be a little upset, but I'll be fine with it. I think Rey, I think it would be a mistake to just like straight out just kind of emphasize or just like say who Rey's parents are, and we don't really know who these parents are. We don't really know who. We don't really care at this point. I think her not being revealed her lineage is. Didn't really matter at that point because okay, they mentioned these two, but I don't, we never follow these two characters at all, the mother or the daughter, the mother and the father. So she has to be related to somebody. If she's related to Obi-Wan, then that's going to be very hard. It's going to be impactful. If she's related to Luke, that's going to be impactful. If she's the daughter of Han and Leia, it's going to be more impactful because she saw her father get killed by her twin brother. I'm assuming Jason and Jaina Solo. But if they do reveal that her parents are just some two characters that were with Luke in the Jedi Council, and then they got murdered because of Kylo Ren, and they asked him to, save her, then I don't think it's going to be as impactful. It really depends if the second movie really kind of showcases her parents a lot, but if they don't, and it's just like a quick image, then there's not going to be too much impact to that. Then I'm going to say, what was the whole point of hiding who her parents were and her waiting all that time? So, I mean, I'm okay with her not being Luke's daughter, but she needs to be somebody that we've known in the course of time to make it more impactful, because parents seen real quick and then getting killed off, and then Luke taking her somewhere, that's not going to cut it. So the theory also suggests that there's a theory out there. I don't want to spoil it for anybody because I could see Disney and I could see Kathleen Kennedy going this route. So I don't want to spoil it for anybody. So if you guys don't want to hear this theory, I think that I'm going to end it to this theory. So thank you guys for listening. But if you guys have questions, please comment below. So the theory is this, okay? That Rey, it's been around for a while, that Rey is actually a reincarnation of Anakin. And honestly, I could see Kathleen Kennedy, I could see Rian Johnson, and I could see Disney I could see them going that route. But if that happens in this film, I'm walking out. I'm done. I can't do that, okay? I can't do that Avatar shit. So basically, she is the reincarnation of Anakin, which basically, the one to bring balance to the Force. She's able to see Anakin. That's why all her premonitions are even the future and the past. She sees all that shit. That's why she heard Darth Vader and Yoda and Obi-Wan. That she is basically Anakin. And there was actually a scene that people were saying, in the theory-wise, that, Rey would ask Luke, who, you're my father. And Luke would be like, no, I ain't your father. You're my father. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. If you don't know what Avatar is, Avatar The Last Airbender is basically the Nickelodeon TV cartoon show that Shyamalan Ding Dong really absolutely destroyed film-wise. Where Aang is a reincarnate, there's this avatar that brings balance to everybody. There's earthbenders, firebenders, waterbenders, and so on. There's 4 bendings. The avatar keeps balance to all the surrounding, let's say, countries, so to speak. But once an avatar dies, he is reincarnated to a different, an earthbender, or a different kind of clan, so to speak. So that's the same philosophy that this theory is trying to hold, is that Rey, once Anakin died, it passed on to Rey, I believe, which doesn't make sense, time-wise. So that's basically it, okay? That she is the chosen one. I don't want that to happen. If that happens, I'm serious, guys. If that fucking happens, I'm out. I'm done. I'm dropping the mic. I'm I'm out of here. Mic drop. I'm done. I see it happening. I see them really actually going that route. But I really want to truly believe, like Super Nerd 81 just comment below, that Luke is the father, and Rey will be trained by, but I want to see Mara Jade in there. Hopefully they're able to put Mara Jade in there, because there's such a great idea there to at least mention her. So like I said, the Last Jedi is a very a lot of people. I think people are waiting for the next trailer. I love how they are not giving away too much when it comes to the Last Jedi. I don't need to be spoiled. I don't need to see anything else. Honestly, that teaser was good enough. Once you hear that Binary Sunset by John Williams, you're just like, oh snaps. Like you get the feelings, you get the chilly willies. Like you start feeling that emotion come through. But I am looking forward. I really need some major deaths in The Last Jedi. I really need some where these characters are at, like emotionally. Luke is just totally broken. I want to see a broken Luke. I don't want to go straight Logan for, Luke Skywalker, because that's a little bit too much. But what I want to see is a broken Luke who's hesitant, of course, of trading Rey, but of just really passing on maybe a knowledge he knows that nobody else knows. He knows something. He's there on that island for a specific reason. He knows something. And if you're watching Star Wars Rebels, there's a lot of lore to the Jedi, but not only to the Jedi, but to the Sith. And there's a lot of lore to that middle. So I'm very, very interested to see what that has to do, what Luke is there for. And a lot of people were saying he was guarding, a Jedi temple. He was guarding a being that's the most powerful being in the universe. Like that's crazy shit. That's crazy shit right there. But so looking forward to it. So I just want to talk a little bit Star Wars. I want to talk Star Wars The Last Jedi. I want to talk if you guys still are on board with Rey being Luke's daughter. And like I said, I don't mind if she's not. But if she's not, you have to really kind of have her parentage be somebody that we know already. Somebody that we know already that makes it a little bit more impactful. Because what was the whole point of hiding her who her parents are? It's so we'll see, man. We'll see how it goes. Like I think this film has definitely potential being better than The Force Awakens. I like The Force Awakens, but I didn't love The Force Awakens. Even as time has gone, there's a lot of rehash. I mean, there's a lot of flaws in The Force Awakens, but there's a lot of fantastic stuff in The Force Awakens. So I think The Last Jedi, I don't want to be a copy to copy of Empire Strikes Back. I want a little bit of different kind of tones going on in the film, but I do want to see where Luke is. I do want to see how far Rey can go, and I want to see something that we haven't seen before in these Star Wars films, or even maybe in the animated series. So I'm looking for it, man. I'm looking for it. And no, Han Solo is not coming back. He's dead. The only time he's coming back is in a flashback with maybe him talking to Luke before Luke leaves, because that's the only way you're going to get Harrison Ford back. I still think it was a mistake to kill Harrison Ford in The Force Awakens. I think he was such a delight in The Force Awakens. I would have kept him on till The Last Jedi and then killed him off. But you know how Harrison Ford is. He wanted to die. He probably didn't want to come back into The Force Awakens unless it was in his contract that he dies and he gets another Indiana Jones film. So is what it is. So thank you guys for listening. I'm Dan Megan Dan's son. You can find more of my videos on my YouTube channel. Would really appreciate if you subscribe, like the video if you like it, and comment below. I will answer still to your questions about everything that I have talked about tonight. So like I say, I don't say anything. I'll just say this. May the Force be with you always. Bye guys.